Math Time with Miss Hartzell, Module 7, Lesson 12. I can solve word problems involving different ways to make change from $1.
Hey friends, Miss Hartzell here. So I just want to give you the heads up that we are getting close to having another check for understanding about some of the learning that you've been doing online. So I like to be very clear with my students about what's happening. So I want to let you know that on Wednesday, you are going to be doing another Show Me What You Know online, and it's going to be just about this module 7. So it will be about the data information that you've learned about. It'll be about counting money and solving word problems that involve data or money. So you've got 2 more lessons before Wednesday. So do your best, keep learning, and keep working hard. Today, we're going to be solving word problems that involve making change from $1. So I've already solved some problems like this, but it's always good to practice this skill more. So stay tuned for your pause and think.
Let's get those math brains focused, and let's think about the word change. In the English language, change has many different definitions. So what change are we talking about? Pause and think. When you're ready, press play.
All right, friends, so for the next 2 days, we are going to be working to solve word problems. So let's remember all of the steps that we learned in this book, how to solve word problems. And I don't think you guys want me to read this book again, but as a quick reminder, let's remember that whenever we are solving word problems, we should read the problem. We should understand the problem and all of the things that are happening. We need to notice the information that will help us solve the question, and we have to notice the question. What is it asking us to solve? And once we understand and we notice the important information, then we can start to model or draw pictures to help us find the solution. Okay, modeling can also be done with real objects. So since we are still talking about money, if you have real coins at home, you can use those real coins to model the problems. Then those models will help you solve and find the answer. And once you have found that answer, check your work. Okay, so that was a quick reminder, and let's take a look at some of the work. To save some time, I completed these problems, and I'm just going to briefly talk about each of them. So here's your first problem. Ricky bought a balloon for 57 cents. He handed the cashier a $1 bill. How much change did he receive? So to understand this problem, I need to know who this problem is about and what this person is doing. So this problem is about Ricky. And what he's doing is he bought a balloon. And his balloon cost money, right? Everything that we buy costs money. So when he went to go pay for his item, he gave the cashier a $1 bill. So what I need to solve is how much change he received. So if Ricky is at the store and he wants to buy that balloon, he has to give up some money so that he can pay for his item, and then he will receive change. He will receive a difference between what he gave the cashier and how much the item cost. So because $1.57 is not equal. So there's going to be a difference. There's going to be some change. So what I did to solve this, I solved it 2 different ways. This is my first way. So first, I took the information about $1 and I wrote it using the dollar symbol. but because I'm dealing with cents, I wanted to make sure that I write $1 as cents. So I wrote 100 cents to remind me. And then I went to find the difference. This is what Ricky gave the cashier. That's how much his item cost. So to find the change, I'm going to subtract 100 minus 57. And when I did that using vertical form, I realized that I had to do some regrouping because you can't have 0 and take away 7. So I did some regrouping and I solved and got 43 cents. And I was not satisfied. I just wanted to make sure that I was correct. So I checked my work by adding my two parts together, the change and how much the item cost, to see if that equals 100 cents or $1, what Ricky had given the cashier. And it did. When I added 43 plus 57 cents, I got 100 cents, okay? So this is pretty much how we've been solving problems last week, but here is something else that you could do to solve subtraction problems, and it's called compensation. So compensation means that it's kind of like regrouping. You're gonna rearrange the numbers a little bit, but what you have to remember is that if you change one number in your equation, then you have to change the other number or the compensation is not going to work. So I looked at the two numbers, I made two tape diagrams. I made what Ricky had given the cashier, and I made a tape diagram for how much the item cost. So the change would be the rest of this, okay? So looking at these two numbers, I realized that 57 is pretty close to a multiple of 10, 60. All I have to do is add 3 more cents, and then that I can change that into 60 cents. And then up here, I have to add what I did to this number, I have to do to this number. So I added 3 cents to the 100. So now I have a different problem. Okay, so it's not exactly what Ricky did, but using compensation makes the subtraction equation a lot easier to solve. So then when I subtracted 103 minus 60, I still got the answer of 43 cents. That's because I used compensation. I added a little bit more to my part. I added a little bit more to my whole so that I can use numbers that are easier to subtract, okay? So if you understand compensation, maybe give it a try today. If you've never heard of this before and it still seems confusing, this is not our target today, so you don't have to worry. You can stick with using this solution, okay? For these equations, you can just subtract 100 minus your change, or whatever the item cost, or whatever it is that you're trying to solve. You can solve it using vertical form, okay? So then just remember that when you are answering a word problem, it is best practice to restate your question and share the answer. So I did that down here. I said Ricky received 43 cents in change. So I really would love that if today in your daily practice, in your exit ticket, if you could write full sentences like this to answer your questions if you have a word problem like this, which you will, because that's our target. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. So for this next problem, it seems like it's similar to Ricky's problem, but it is a little different. So Jamie buys a sticker. Okay, so we have a character and they're buying something. Jamie buys a sticker. She gives the cashier a $1 bill. Jamie gets 2 dimes, 1 quarter, and 1 penny in change. How much did Jamie's sticker cost? So this time, we don't know how much the item cost. We know that Jamie gives that cashier $1, just like Ricky did, but instead of knowing how much Jamie's item costs, we are given the information about how much she got back in change. And it's not given to us in cent form. it's given to us using a list of coins. So what I did to solve this problem is I wrote the $1 so I don't forget. That's what Jamie gave to the cashier. She paid with $1. And the change that she received, they were all coins. So I looked back in the problem, I noticed the list of coins, and I redrew them. I drew the 2 dimes, the 1 quarter, and the 1 penny. And then I used that model, that picture, to figure out that the change was equal to 46 cents. So now I know that Jamie paid with $1. I know that she got 46 cents back in change. So if I want to figure out how much her item costs, then I need to find the difference between $1 and 46 cents. So down here, I just used one strategy. I just used vertical form. So I started with what Jamie paid, 100 cents. I converted $1 to 100 cents so that I can do my math clean and efficient. And then I subtracted the change. I took away 46 cents so that I can find out how much her sticker costs. And when I did that work, I found out that her sticker cost 54 cents. And to check my work, I added my 2 parts together. I added them together to make sure that they did equal 100 cents or $1, and I was correct. So now I can answer the question, how much did Jamie's sticker cost? Jamie's sticker cost 54 cents. Okay? And just a quick note, I know that making the cent symbol online is probably not easy. So instead of stressing about making that symbol online, just write the word cent. Oops, sorry. Or cents, okay? Because if you have 1 cent, that's 1 singular cent. If you have 54, that's more than 1, so you would need to use the plural version of cent, which is cents, okay? Last problem. So our other problems were about buying an item. Those characters gave the cashier $1. Their items cost an amount, and there was some change involved. So this problem is a little different. So let's read it carefully. Isam wants to buy a toy whistle that costs $1. He has 15 pennies, 2 nickels, 2 dimes, and 1 quarter. How much more money does Isam need to buy the whistle? So this time, Isam is not giving the cashier $1. His item costs $1. So that's his goal. He needs to get to $1 or 100 cents. And right now, he has some money. He has 15 pennies, 2 nickels, 2 dimes, and 1 quarter. So in order to really find out the total, I had to look at this information and figure out the totals for each of the different coin groups, add that information up so that I can find how much Isam has. And when I did that, I found out that Isam, he already has 70 cents. So to find out how much more he needs, I have lots of different options. I can subtract 100 minus 70 to find the difference, or I can start at 70 and count up to 100 and find the difference that way as well. So if I did that, 70, 80, 90, 100. So Isam needs 30 cents more to buy his whistle. Okay? So as you're doing your work today, remember, read, understand your problem, notice all of the important information that's going to help you, make a model, write equations, solve for the question. Okay, and once you've solved, check your work and write a sentence that answers the question. Restate the question. Isam needs 30 cents more to buy his whistle. I got that information from the question that I was being asked, okay? So see if you can do that today. I know in the past, a lot of people are just kind of writing the answer, and that's okay too, but in 3rd grade and 4th grade and 5th grade and 6th grade, you will be expected to write answer sentences, okay? So see if you can try to do that today and just do your best, take your time. You have about 4 questions for your daily practice and about 4 questions for your exit ticket. So that's not a lot of work and you can handle that. Do your best, because you know, you are the best. Have a great day.